Welcome back. The FDA says warning labels on some hormone therapy drugs have scared off many women who may benefit from receiving menopause treatment. Now the agency is taking steps to make the medicines more accessible by working to remove the black box warning on many HTM treatments. That black box warning is the FDA's strongest drug label alert. These warnings were partly based on a 2002 study linking two types of hormone pills to an increased risk for heart disease and also breast cancer. But more recent studies suggest hormone therapy carries more benefits than risks when started before the age of 60. We want to bring in Dr. Dana Bittner to break down this huge news and to talk about how this will make these treatments more available to so many women that may have been scared off by that daunting label.
Exactly, and you started it off so well in terms of the history of this label and what this label looks like. It's got a black box around it, and what this does is call out information that we now know for menopause hormone therapy is outdated.
Right, and we've heard from women that talk about finding a doctor that listens to them and will prescribe them a treatment that will help is already challenging enough. And then if you get that treatment and you've got that warning on it, it would definitely make you think twice before actually taking it.
Actually, after having a good conversation with the patient and going through all the pros and cons, she gets home and sees this label and she's like, who am I supposed to believe?
Right.
And this looks really scary, but this information applies to women who were in the study. They were older. They were over 63. They had no menopause symptoms anymore, and they had been more than 10 years from menopause. So this information does not apply to most women who are at their doctor seeking out information for menopause hormones.
Yeah, but there's so many health consequences that can happen as a result of menopause. And let's talk about when is a good time to begin the treatments, because the timing of starting it before the age of 60 seems like more beneficial.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good data that if you start hormones in the first 6 years after menopause starts,
okay,
so 6 years, then you have the most benefit in terms of potentially lowering your risk of cardiovascular disease, risk for diabetes, risk for osteoporosis, risk maybe even for dementia. So we know that those studies are building. We know if we treat the symptoms, we can improve women's health.
Yeah, and with this major step forward, we don't exactly know what the new label will look like, but we know that will be a change to that black box warning.
There'll be a change, and so they're going to update the information, work with pharmaceutical companies to make sure that the label is accurate, that it talks about starting hormones within the first 10 years and starting them, the earlier the better.
Okay, and let's talk about Jane. How does this apply to her?
So Jane, it's really sad. So she's 48, she was having a lot of symptoms, and for Jane, she had night sweats, poor sleep, but also really mood was affecting her, and she started to withdraw, she had anxiety, she had depression. At work, it was affecting her work and with coworkers, but it really affected her relationships with her husband, with her kids, and really led to a lot of discord. And she went to her doctor and said, I don't feel like myself, I don't feel right. What's going on? I think I want to try hormones. And her doctor was just a couple years out of training and hadn't maybe had a lot of experience, but she said, no, hormones are not safe for you, and if you take them, you have to sign a waiver, so when something bad happens, you won't sue me. So now she was totally scared off the hormones. And again, that's what happened, is not only patients were scared off, but doctors who didn't take the time or have the training, they didn't know. So bottom line, she was scared off hormone therapy and ended up really ending her marriage, ending her relationship. She just totally withdrew. And so, now that she can take hormones, she's like, if only I had known that was how I was feeling. It was menopause. It wasn't my relationship. It wasn't, it was my perception of things. So again, menopause doesn't cause severe illness like psychiatric illness, but it can really change how people feel. So bottom line, we have to know what's right for us.
Yeah. What is your takeaway tip now that we've got this major step forward from the FDA?
Yeah, menopause therapy, hormone therapy is not for everyone, but if you're interested, make sure that you know what applies to you. Know the facts.
All right. Great information, and find a doctor that listens to you and what's going on. All right, Dr. Bittner, we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.